Hey there, Combo Cabal. I'm Bryant Cook, and today we are playing a Pioneer League. In front of you is what I've been playing the last few days. I'm not going to do a full deck breakdown this time, so if you want more in-depth card choices and how this deck works and why we play certain cards, make sure to check out my last Pioneer video that was about 3 weeks ago. And that video received a ton of support, like a lot of support. One of the highest viewed videos ever on this channel, so thank you very much to everyone that watched it. I do greatly appreciate that. And because of that, I'm doing this video today. So there's been a few small upgrades that I'm going to discuss. So the first is Ketria Triome over the Fourth Temple of Mystery. And what that does is it gives you a cycle land. Granted, it's 3 mana and not 2. So you could run the Amonkhet cycle lands, which would be Petrified Field, I believe, and then Sheltered Thicket. So Field is blue-black and Thicket is red-green. The issue with that is that you're going to end up with hands where you want to cast Scrying or Strategic Planning on 2, but then you're missing the off color. And it's a little bit awkward. So Ketria Triome gives you both colors while being 1 more mana to cycle, but there's this hidden backdoor thing that's pretty cool about Ketria Triome. You can copy it with Thespian Stage to cast Anger of the Gods, or super late game, if for some reason your Lotus Fields get removed from the game, you can copy Niv Mizzet Perrin. And yeah, that's the change to the main deck. I noticed that after the last video, some people took this list and then modified it to cut a Balaged Recovery and add in a basic forest. Please don't do this. Balaged Recovery is so crucial to how this deck operates because we're not playing Peer into the Abyss in the main deck. So you're actually making the deck worse by doing so. If you really, really want to play a basic forest, I'd actually cut another temple before I ever cut any number of Balaged Recovery. Please do not play less than 4 of this card. It is bananas. With Baral, you can make your pour over the pages into Balaged into pour neutral mana. With Brawl and Hidden Strings, Balaged Recovery becomes Cabal Ritual. Like, the card is just very powerful, and playing less than 4, in my opinion, is a little bit silly. In the sideboard, we're going to see 2 copies of Wilt over Shifting Ceratops. You know, I love Ceratops. It's not a bad card. It's just like there's only so many cards in a sideboard, right? Like, you can only play 15. So, unfortunately, Dampening Spheres made a pretty big comeback, and something had to go. And sadly, that slot was Wilt. To make up for it, we added in a Second Thought Distortion. This could be 1 Dino, but like, what's the point of playing 1 Dino? We're also down 1 Anger of the Gods. Yeah. So this is the list. It's still pretty similar to what we ran before. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do try to answer almost all of them, as long as you're not trolling me. And yeah, round 1 will be coming up in just a second. Welcome to round number 1. We are facing Jay Berto, and we are on the play. Alright, so this is actually a pretty strong hand. We have turn 1 Grazer into double land. This is ideal. This is the best start that you can get with this deck. And then we have turn 2 Scrying for Lotus, turn 3 Scrying for Stage. You just really need a payoff. Like, I don't think I would ship this hand in literally any matchup. And there's our payoff. That worked out pretty well, right? What is our opponent playing now? Alright, Blooming Marsh. What does that mean? Thoughtseize. You know, that's not the end of the world. We're probably going to lose one of the Scryings here if I had to guess. Yeah. That's fine. And our opponent has had enough. Wow. Sorry, opponent. I don't really know what they're doing, but just to play it safe, I'm going to board in these. Niv Mizzet tends to be pretty good against most Thoughtseize decks, and Wilt's just like a precaution. Obviously, you don't get like the nut start that we just had right there, but you do get to blow up like a dampening sphere or something random. I don't mind slowing the game down and boarding out grazers against non-aggro. This is another fine hand. And our opponent is mulligan to 5. Now to 4. So they probably looking for some sort of hate piece here, if they're willing to go that low. And apparently that was round number 1. I'm sorry, that must have been very uneventful for you. But round number 2 will be coming up. I mean, that was a 2.5-minute match. All right, round number 2. We're on the play once again. All right, no blue source, no way to find Lotus. This is just risky. We got to ship that. I don't love it, but this is a keep. Like, if we can find Lotus, this hand actually ends up being fine. We don't need a second Baral. Our opponent also mulliganed. Ketria Triome. Probably Rug Wreck. All right. Really need that scrying to resolve, though. Yeah, it is Rug Wreck. And to help play around Censor here, I played out the Sanctum. We really can't afford to get the scrying censored. We get our Lotus Field. Another Triome. Alright, no Reclamation's a nice sign. There are 4 censors in the list. Not this person, but like the last person that did well with Rec. Love that draw. All right, we've assembled Tron. Trying to see if they play 1 main deck negate censors. Doesn't they play 4 main deck dispute? I guess. I think I'm just gonna pass here. Alright, so I was actually expecting them to play Anger. They play 3 in the main deck, but this limits what they can do on our turn. So here I'm going to choose to cycle Because I want the dig that's on top of our deck, but I also don't want to have to choose it with dig. And it gives us another card to delve away. So I always like to remove lands and green cards first. And now I'm going to pay 3 mana and leave 1 mana floating. And 2 cards in the yard. So basically this plays around Censor and leaves us extra fuel. Alright, and there's a main deck dispute. So they have 4 Censor and 3 dispute left. Three cards. I think I'm going to risk casting the Pour here. They could have another dispute, but they don't. And I was going to say what I could do is Fey for a Thought Distortion. I just don't think that's worth it, personally. Alright, so 6 mana plus 7 mana is 13. That's still 1 mana short of Fey and Omniscience, assuming that they don't have Censor. I think I'm just going to dig here. Green cards and then blue cards. So we'll remove another dig because it's going to replace itself. Planning we're not really going to bring back. We can remove 1 Pour. And we have a Fey and a Mastery in hand, so I'm okay with removing this Fey. Alright, double Pour is terrific. You'll love to see it. Get rid of this land. And the reason we're getting rid of the land is that it comes into play tapped. Like, we just don't want to play that out. And Baral over the course of this turn will make up for himself. So this is 1 mana towards Baral. Discard a Grazer. And then this strings will be neutral mana, and anything after this is just gravy. Getting back the strings. So this just plays around Mystical Dispute on our Omniscience. I mean, they don't have Mystical Dispute, or else they would have countered Pour, I think, but there's no reason to not play around it. Get Pier. Alright, we've stolen game one against Rugrak. Alright, so they do play Aether Gust, but I still think Niv Mizzet's worth it. And Thought Distortion, pretty good. So they have Narset in the board, Scorching Dragonfire, 4 copies of Aether Gust. So like Niv Mizzet's actually like not the most reliable thing. But I think it's probably better than Grazer, if I'm being honest. Niv has the potential to take over a game. And it doesn't look like there's many targets for Wilt other than the Reclamation, which might honestly just be better. but who knows. I think I'm just going to do this. So we opened up the Thought Distortion, which is great, but we only have Balagad and Stage as lands. Yeah, like, you just don't want to open these cards. I'm going to ship this. Much better. I think Baral's secretly fine. They're most likely to board out a bunch of the removal. Okay, Niv, I see you. Baral can start doing some chip damage. Also, if they play a Narset here, Baral deals 1, so then it becomes awkward on them. Alright, and let's cast Planning. This is actually a tiny bit awkward here. I think we're supposed to take the other Planning. It's close. I thought about taking the dig. I just don't think the dig is likely to resolve. Alright, so this looks like a Wilderness Reclamation. And I'm going to keep on playing around Censor and just like making Censor a dead card. As long as you can do that, you'll usually win this matchup. This is a big shark. It is a big shark. And now we're forced to pass the turn. We really want to find hidden strings. That's probably how we win the game next turn. Fortunately, we're at a healthy life total. Alright, so that could have been better. What's distortion? Negate dispute lands. Alright, we should have this next turn. Ding. Uro was a good draw. I can't quite escape Uro yet, though. Alright, so now we can pour... We don't actually need a second copy of Niv, so we'll probably get rid of Niv. But now you get to see why I boarded in Niv over the Wilts. We were able to protect Niv with this Thought Distortion. I mean, they didn't have the Aether Gust anyway, but Niv just takes over the game. And now we can get back Pour. Our opponent's just letting us go bananas, which is very, very nice of them. And now we going to cycle. I mean, we're not going to deck with 23 cards, but if we can not draw extra cards, it helps in case if something happens. Don't want any of these. Opponent is at 3. Sweet. That advances us up to 2-0. And if you would like to support this content, if you're enjoying watching me, Bryant Cook, Niv Mizzet Fools, please visit theepicstorm.com/shop. Get your Storm staples there. Mostly Legacy, some Modern, not a whole lot of Pioneer, admittedly. But if you would still like to support this content, but you don't really want that stuff, we have tons and tons of cool The Epic Storm merchandise. From pint glasses to playmats, baseball t-shirts, and much more. But I would personally recommend the mini token pack. Make sure to check that out. 54 tokens overall, 6 storm symbols, six mana symbols, one storm symbol, 9 different goblin tokens on the back, and they're mini. They're half the size of a standard Magic the Gathering card. Go to theepicstorm.com/shop to show your support for this Pioneer content. And we'll be back with match number 3 in just a second. And we're back with round number 3 against Belitza. We're on the play. Alright, we get to do the classic turn 1 Scryland plus Grazer into turn 2 Field. This is definitely a keep. Once again, you keep these hands against like pretty much every deck in the format. As long as they have an avenue to a turn 2 Lotus. Like, this isn't as important as the turn 2 Lotus. And then we have double planning to find stage after that. It's just terrific. This is tough. Like, we do need a payoff eventually, so I'm like sort of banking on drawing something good off of a planning. Because we get to planning on 2 into field. Ooh. So this means that they're probably on wreck, if I had to guess. Yeah, this looks like wreck. So I'm doing it this way so that if I draw into scrying, ooh, that was a good draw. I can go search up stage. Or if I just hit the, well, that's good. If I just hit the stage itself, I can copy field this turn. No dice. It's a little sad. I'm not going to burn a Hidden Strings to cast Pour, I don't think, but you never know. We can't imagine our opponent's going to tap out for a non-reclamation here. Oh, well, I say that and now I look like a fool. Let's see if they put a blue land into play, and they do. They're going to pay the life. Okay, so this means that I can, in theory, hardcast the Pour. It is directly into Censor, though, which is like kind of bad. Dig. I think I'd rather dig. Green cards and lands and then blue cards. I like removing Grazers because there's just like no use for those. This can even play around Mystical Dispute here. And there's our stage. Let's get that Masterminds as well. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, there we go. So many lands. I think we're going to be able to plow through a Mystical Dispute this turn, so I'm just going to go for it. We can double Pour even through a negate here. And each one of these Pours is +1 mana. Be nice if we could have found Baral a little bit sooner. Let's dig, I think. Lands and green cards. We don't need triple pour, because if we want to recur a pour, we only need one in there. Not touching the hidden strings. Another dig in a strings is fine. I'm just going to play my land. I don't know if I want to dig right now or not. So 10, 17. That's enough to play Omniscience through a Mystical Dispute. Hey, game number 1 against Temur Reclamation. Alright, so once again, we're going to board in the Thought Distortions and the Nivs. Get rid of these Grazers. Just now, the matchup's not about blocking or accelerating, so that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to chill once again for a little bit. While we wait to start this next game, why don't you go follow all of our social media channels? There's also a Storm Discord that you can join in the comments, descriptions, whatever below. So check out the description, join the Legacy Storm Discord. All right. I think this hand's just like a little too clunky. All right, we're going to 5. Not the worst 5-card hand. Alright, so they're representing Censor here. And now we don't even need that Scrying to resolve. So I think I'm going to play out the Scrying just because, like, if it gets countered, I don't care. This looks like a turn 4 or turn 3 Reclamation, which is very good. No need to play Lotus on 3. This way we just end up with more mana. This is a shark. That is a big shark. Alright, so our time is running out. They also had a very strong start. Like, for a 5-card hand, we're doing pretty well, but our opponent's start was very good. I'm going to try to get Thought Distortion with this. I imagine it gets countered, and then we just copy Lotus Field. So if they have a what is it called? I'm blanking on the name. Expansion Explosion, we're dead. Yep. All right. Wondering if I do want to have the Nivs. I don't know. Maybe that's just playing afraid. Or like boarding in the Wilt. Just because like I feel like if we had Wilt that game it would have been very different. Not that we had Niv anyway. What I could do is this. Let's try this out. Seems fine. Nope. Alright, I love the second scrying draw there. Interesting that this is main phase. I wonder what they're doing. Alright, so what's nice about this play is that if they do play a Reclamation, I can Wilt it before they can untap. Okay. So on our turn, we can bail again for scrying and scrying. Okay. If they decide to tap out here, I could sneakily cast Dig Through Time. I'm going to hold off. Like, it still gets countered by Dispute right there. Is it Uro or Wreck? Looks like Uro based on the pause here. And let's slide my sideboard down. And now we can wilt. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to kill them right now. We would need like a hidden strings right here. I don't know. Maybe it's planning and then just copy my Lotus this turn. That was good. Would really like to draw strings, though. We haven't seen one yet. Strings would allow us to just go bananas next turn. Not blocking. And there's another Reclamation. There's strings. Wow. That was really good. Okay, so the shark's actually a little bit of an inconvenience, but that's fine. So we're going to untap our Lotus and then tap shark. Put this on Baral. And this will give us a chance of winning this turn if we get super lucky. We have to draw an action spell right here. Cycle. Okay. Strings off this. Oh. We've already played our land, so it's better to take scrying here. We are dead to a top-decked expansion explosion. Because I'm not blocking the arrow. It looks like they might have it. Maybe not. I don't know. Not likely. So they have one card. Probably not casting double scrying. Actually, we can get rid of Baral number 2. These are all cantrips. Excuse me. Get back that pour. Send a message, bounce the shark. Just going through the motions right now. So something that's important to keep in mind when you're doing this sort of thing is that we're down to 11 cards after this draw. Granted, our opponent's at 1, but this is a true story. I was a little reckless once, and I went to go cast Approach, but I ended up with 1 card left in deck, and I ended up with 0 cards in deck, and Niv decked me with a lethal approach on the stack. So it can happen. All right. We are now 3-0. Welcome back to round number 4. We're facing Rogar 13. We've opened up a hand that's actually kind of awkward. Like, these two are essentially mulligans until we're winning, which means we're operating on this. And Balagad does not come into playoff Grazer. So this is actually, like, pretty weird. We're going to ship it. Better. For sure better. Get rid of a second Vizier here. Not the fastest hand. I say that, and then this happens. Shit. Alright, well that was a good draw. Alright, will our hand be fast? I regret putting that second Vizier on the bottom now. Will our hand be fast enough for mono red, though? By the looks of it, no. Really would like to draw Blocks Diamond, aka Arboreal Grazer. Yeah, I really wish I would have kept that second Vizier right now. Alright, so they're getting in for 5, which means that we're going to 10. They attack next turn for 5. So they only need 5 points of damage in their last 2 cards. That we really wanted a Vizier or a Grazer right there. We just have to try to not, like... So we're taking the Vizier. There's no point in, like... So you might be saying to yourself, why didn't you play Lotus and then untap with Vizier and, like, try to strings? That's not a winning line. Like, you are 0% chance to win that game. We have a much higher... Like, if for some reason our opponent's last 2 cards are lands, we might actually win this. So... Alright. So now they need 4 points of damage. Double shock would do. Alright, so now we actually stand a chance of winning. I mean, we have to get a little bit lucky, but, like, it's there. And this is why you don't just, like, throw your resources away. Perfect draw. Actual perfect draw. Something something LFG. That was good. Alright, so this is -1 mana, so... Ooh, they F6'd. So this Baral looks like it's going to pay for itself as well. And it has once we cast the strings. And now let's go through time. Lands and then green cards. Dig and planning. Another dig. We have a lot of mana right now, which is great, don't get me wrong. But I did take the other planning because you might be asking yourself, like, why didn't you take Balagad and then, like, Balagad back Pour? That's, like, kind of, like, mana intensive, where I thought that, like, digging, 10 cards would find me more action, and it's less, like, resources. I like removing Viziers. Another dig. I don't know if we actually want another dig. It might be better to take the Fae. This Pour will make 2 mana. So we have enough mana here where we can Fae into Omniscience and then dig. I don't really want to peer into the Abyss at 4 life. I think I made a play mistake. I should have just gone approach here. And then digged into the approach. That was my bad. Don't punish me, Doc. Alright, so Fae works. Plus planning. Yeah, that was a misplay on my part. I was playing too quickly. Alright, so now we can play a Fae. And now we get probably Pier because now we have more life. So we're going to go to 5, which is still more than the 4 we had. Got game 1 against Mono Red. All right, anger, or I was gonna say anger's wrath. Anger of the gods are coming in. I mean, I just combined the two red cards right there. Uh, Talking is difficult. We can board out a masterminds and then a planning. That's typically how I board. It's slow, but this is secretly okay. Blast Zone. Yeah, Blast Zone's good. Because Blast Zone allows us to cast Scrying onto or phase a blocker. Probably going to do phase a blocker, to be completely honest. And it's not bad to hold Balaguds. The 1/4 wall. Next turn we can cast Scrying into Lotus Field. I mean, with Scrying we're going to get stage, but then play Lotus Field. Yeah, I guess we do have to sack the Blast Zone no matter what. I was wondering if there's a way of keeping it around. So what I could do, and I don't love this play, but I could play out Coast here, tap my 2 lands, go get stage, and then next turn play Lotus Field, untap Lotus Field with Vizier, and then destroy their creatures. That might be better. Playing the long game. And they're just playing super hard in this Blast Zone too. Holy crap. No fear. They're probably going to kill the Fae. Yeah. So we're taking 4 here, going to 10. But now we're going to crush them. I think it's better to play this out. Wait till their attack step, because then haste creatures won't deal us any damage. Bone Crusher, okay. No, it's probably better. I was thinking about hardcasting Vizier, but I think that's just wrong. If their last 2 cards in hand are 6 damage, or 3 cards in hand are 6 damage, I guess we lose. Because that actually sets you pretty far behind if you play Vizier as a chump blocker here. So, you play Vizier as a chump blocker, you block, but now next turn you have both halves in play, but they're not copied, which means that you have to pass again. Ooh, that's lethal. Right? No, we go to 1. Okay. And now I believe that we win. As long as I don't mess up, I think we got this. Don't really need another scrying or the sanctum. I think I'm going to dig here so that way if I get Baral, it's just like smooth sailing. And there's our good friend Baral, the chief of compliance, and they will comply. They don't have a choice. Baral is such a good dude. And Baral is now paid for himself. This pours +2 mana. So much mana. We can just get pour. I mean, we could also get dig. Like, it doesn't really matter. And I know that I could cast the dig here, but I'm doing this to show you that, like, we had it all along. And this is like why you don't actually need Pure in the deck, is this sort of thing right here, where you can just chain Pours and Balagads. Alright, so that advances us up to 4-0. We're about to play for the 5-0. Can you feel it? Is it coming? I don't know. Probably not. But we're going to try to get that trophy. Stay tuned for match number 5. Alright, we're playing for the trophy. It's match number 5. We're facing Jolando Peldo, I believe. I probably mispronounced that. Who knows? According to Goldfish, this person plays Burn. So the last matchup that we had, this hand is not a keep. Gotta ship it. Uh-oh. Going to 5. Like, you could keep this in bottom Lotus, but if you don't hit the land on 2, you're just, like, done for. And I think that we have, like, better 5-card hands than this. I mean, this is great. We just really need to draw a second land on turn 2. Unfortunately, cannot keep the pour. Not a good draw. I would also take a land on our next turn because that gives us field copy on turn 4. Alright, come on, Doc. Give me a land, please. I think we're supposed to play it out. And the reason that we're supposed to play it out is assuming that I draw a land, I can Masterminds for a stage. This is bad, though. So we could Hidden Strings untap Lotus into acquisition. Maybe that's better. Feels bad, man. We had so many hits. So we're taking a minimum of 3. They have 6 cards in hand. We're probably taking a bunch of damage, let's be honest. And we're probably dead next turn. So how we win this game is if... I honestly don't know. Like, we had to draw a land last turn. That's the real answer. Alright, so we're going to 9 and then taking 5. So our opponent will need 4 damage in hand to kill us next turn. Or I guess I just fucked all of that math up. Yeah, I'm wrong. They just have to have anything and we're dead. Even a land drop kills us because of the ruin. So they would have to have all creatures and none of them with haste. I don't know. I'm just going to play this Grazer and try to block. So they have the land. Literally, we're dead to, like, pretty much everything here. Just kill us. I guess if they have 3 lands in hand, we're still alive. Alright, so we're dead. Game 2. They do not play Eidolon, which is good for us. And their last board didn't really have a whole lot. They have Skullcrack, which is like annoying but not the end of the world. And once again, if you want to show your support for this Pioneer content, theepicstorm.com/shop. Playmats, pint glasses, pens, stickers, tokens, card singles, we've got it. Come visit theepicstorm.com/shop. But I would personally recommend picking up a mini token pack. Or if you're interested, we have five copies. That's it. That's all we have left of the original token pack from the launch of theepicstorm.com/shop. You will get 10 tokens with these, and what you see is what you get in front of you. Or if maybe you don't need tokens. Let's say you're not someone that needs to keep track of your mana for whatever ungodly reason. You can always get a Storm 20 baseball tee. Okay, game number 2, we're on the play. So the real downside of losing game 1 is that we'll be on the draw for game 3, assuming that we win game 2. And it's just a very difficult place to be in. Alright, so we could go get... we could cast Baral here. Instead, I'm going to get Lotus Field. And why I'm doing this is that, one, I'm not likely going to block a Swiftspear on their turn. But it gives us this, like, if our opponent double creatures here, we can anger them. Alright, so they didn't double creature. Yeah, I'm not going to anger away one Swiftspear. Ooh. I think I take the Blast Zone. I think our opponent's intentionally displaying a different mountain for each land, which is kind of funny. Interesting that they're not playing the Soul Scar. Or maybe they are and they're just waiting. Another Anger. So I'm going to cycle this because it'll allow me to play the Baral post-combat, which is likely going to eat up some damage. Or I could even dig. I think I like dig. I don't really want to just like let my Baral die to that strike. Alright, so we have a Hidden Strings. We definitely want this Thespian stage. I think we're supposed to take the planning here, but bottoming double strings is like pretty scary. So our opponent could just Lightning Strike light up the stage. It looks like that's what they're doing. I think we have to throw a Baral in front of the Mage this turn, unfortunately. Really? A little shocked by that. So I know this seems crazy, but we have double double strings in the bottom. I want to stop that. Like, we do not want that on the bottom of our deck. So I'm going to get a Ketria Triome here. Get this Balagad. A lot of digs in there. So remove some green cards. Brawl. And one of the plannings. Pour is great. Do I want the Fae? Fae or another dig? I think it's supposed to be the dig. Okay, and our opponent's had enough. Game 3. And they never saw the anger for what it's worth. Oh, no, they did see anger. I'm sorry, they did. That's just me not paying attention. They did see Anger of the Gods. Because I exiled one to a dig. I also cast one, but that's how I got to the graveyard. You've already pieced this together, and I'm just rambling. All right, game 3 for the 5-0 against Burn. if we could draw a second land, this hand is very good. It's a little risky. So what's nice about this, though, is that you actually have 2 chances to draw a second land. Don't hate me. I'm going to keep this. So you can actually miss your first land drop. Or I'm sorry, miss the land on the first turn. As long as you hit it on the second turn, because you can still turn 2 Lotus with Grazer. Hell yeah. Get out of here, red deck. Black's Diamond coming right up. That was a good draw. It was literally like a perfect draw, actually. Goodbye, Baral. It's been real. Okay, we don't actually care about that card that much. So cycling this turn, because it allows us to cast Planning after we copy. Did not want to draw a land there. Strings is fine. But basically, just this card says that we can't win using Omniscience. That's what it says. Are we dead? Okay, we're not dead. Not the best draw. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm supposed to do that. I think we're supposed to dig first in case we like hit Baral poor. Or something like that. Mana's going to be our constraint this turn, so let's try to maximize. Speaking of Baral poor, so we can take Baral poor or we can take poor Balagad. My concern with taking Baral poor is that if we don't hit off the poor, we're just flat out dead. And I don't want to just be flat out dead. Like, we can win without Baral. And I think I'm going to play a Scryland right here just because it's so important that we do hit off this. Fae. So they can stop us from gaining life this turn. I'm trying to figure out how good the Fae actually is. I think we probably want Fae. This is why I wanted to take the Balagad. So... what are our options here? So we have 9 mana, so we can Fae for anything that costs 5. Technically 6 if we Balagad for strings. Approach doesn't actually do anything. Okay. Don't really need a second Fae. Grazer isn't that good. I think it's supposed to be planning here. Really needed a Baral this turn. Well, there's Baral. Alright, dude. Time to do some work. Alright. So, we're starting to pick up some steam. That was good. Pour and strings are both terrific. We just need a lot of mana in order to win. Why doesn't this format have Past in Flames? Come on. Get your shit together, Pioneer. Okay, so are we at a point where we can do what I want? So 7 mana, yeah. So now we can get Approach. Let's cast this. I think we have to hit a Cycler. Oh no, we hit the Triome. It's a guaranteed win now. Wow, I can't believe we got this game. It didn't feel like I was going to for a little bit. This is so sweet. For the 5-0. Huzzah! Bam! I hope you all enjoyed this. Once again, I'm Bryant Cook. We were playing a Pioneer League. We went 5-0. So awesome. If you want to show your support, theepicstorm.com/shop. I just want to get this 5-0 up on the screen. Why the hell not? Bam. 5-0. And, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. This deck list is great. I would probably play this in a challenge tomorrow. I mean, Wilt was fine this league. Shifting Ceratops wouldn't have mattered. We didn't really see too many Dampening Spheres. But, yeah, that's the magic. Thank you for watching. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.